Welcome, friends, to another episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. I'm your host, Garie, and I'm here with my wonderful, super chill co host, Danielle. Danielle, say hi.
Hello.
For this episode, we read The Wilderness by Angela Flournoy, and we have some takes. But first, this is the book. But first, we're going to start with a bit of a summary. Danielle, could you please tell our audience what the book is about?
Yes, I can do that. So this book is pretty simple. It's about four friends and their friendship. That's really all I got. There's nothing really deeper than that. It's really just four friends and their friendship.
Yeah, I mean, it is. That is what it's about.
So yeah, don't look for anything deeper than that. If you like
Oh
that
my
sort of
God.
thing, it may be your cup of tea.
I do not care for this book. I actually finished it today. Um,
Fair.
I don't know what the fuck it was about. Like, people on Goodreads were like hyping it up, saying like, "Oh, friendship is
Yeah.
everything," which yeah, sure, but
I felt like it was pretty mixed on Goodreads for me, like, at least what I read, and a lot of the more
I mean,
average reviews kind of they articulated very well how I felt about this book. I mean, I understand what it's about. I think it's, the journey of this friend group. Now, whether that's a compelling plot line or not, I think is this genre for you? But that
yeah,
is essentially the book. I think that for me, it just fell flat in terms of execution. And also, I really was only interested in a couple of the characters' stories. So it was kind of like the way, some characters I'd be like, "Ah, I don't really want to read this chapter about her. I don't care for her."
cool.
So I really liked Desiree. I thought that this book would have been much better had the author really focused on Desiree and her sister. And
I
so
agree.
judging by the first chapter, which on its own could have been a fantastic short story, I thought that if the author had honed in on even the whole friend group from just the Desiree point of view, I felt it would have been more effective.
Yeah,
And then just like her navigating, reconnecting with her sister or whatever their troubles were, I think had the rest of the girls been more of a backdrop, I think it would have been a little more effective. But uh, you know, I think it's more,
yeah.
do you connect with these characters? Do you like this sort of thing? Because it's sort of like Girls, right? Do you like the idea of watching a friend group or reading about a friend group? If you
I
don't
do.
inherently like that, it's gonna be a tough read.
No, I do like it. I just didn't really care. Like, I didn't think it meshed well. To your point, I would have enjoyed the book way more if it was in Desiree's POV and it kinda just, like, navigated life through that, but the one character I could not stand is her name January, the girl with the baby?
Yeah.
I could not stand her, and I was just like,
I didn't mind January, but I also felt like the author didn't really give us a lot to she didn't give a lot of mature to understand her. And I kind of felt like she did a disservice to that character because it's everything sort of just happened, but we never understood
"Why?"
why she didn't connect with her boyfriend, why she ultimately married him, had another kid, why she then wanted to get a divorce. Like, we don't know if this man cheated. We kind of get the sense that he doesn't do enough around the house. But we don't really know that because, again, this book tries to cover so much ground that it just can't in 300 pages.
Yeah.
So I think
You
that
see?
was sort of what was lacking with January. I really personally hated the chef character. That was my least favorite. Like, I just every time she had a fucking chapter, I'm like, "Girl, no."
Why?
I just it was it just felt like, here is this privileged girl who is like, "Nobody understands me. I'm gay. I wanna be a chef, blah, blah, blah." But it's like, you came from a pretty well-off family, you went home, they bought you a restaurant, like,
Yeah.
it just felt like all this manufactured adversity that wasn't really adversity, and then she was
Yeah.
extremely not self-aware in how she related to other people, like that first girl that she was a
Does
girlfriend with, and then it's like,
uh,
how do you not see your impact on these people? The way she treated January was just, like, terrible. I'm like, "You don't really like this girl, but she's one of your best friends." I'm just like, "Oh, she would be the worst type of friend to have, because it's like, you're so focused on you, but also because it kept coming back to this, like, impact she wanted to make. Girl, what?
and I didn't understand because when when she died, spoiler alert, audience, she died. Don't You're not gonna read this book. But when she
Even if you
died,
did, it's not even, like, a thing that matters. Like, I'm not saying it like, it ain't like a big this is not a major spoiler in my mind. It's not a major spoiler. It doesn't take away from the book that you know she eventually dies.
yeah, when she dies, which is unclear to me as to why, did she die on that bridge with everybody?
Didn't you just finish this?
Yeah,
Did you not read it?
I did, but it just seemed like it was at one point it read like she went to heaven and she was, like, seeing people in the afterlife, and then they were, like, corralling people on the bridge, and then she got shot with these pellets, but, like, it seemed like she got away.
Yeah, she got shot because she was trying to help. This is all goes back to this impact. I'm gonna go feed the homeless. Like, that's great. I love that for you.
Right.
And it was like during all that unrest, which is this is you know what? This pissed me off because this is what I meant about I hate reading books that are so on the nose with current events. And it's like
Yeah.
COVID and protests and please spare me. We could have done anything else. So she's like down there and she like gets in that altercation with the police. I don't know, which was so stupid. And I felt like she didn't need to die. I felt like she martyred herself, but whatever. What an impact.
Yeah. So she died when she was, like, escaping the bridge situation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, she died somewhere in there. It's not important. Again,
Right.
audience,
That
this
but,
is not a
the
major
whole
spoiler,
thing
and it's
is
like, I
that
think I'm supposed to take from that, look at her dying for a noble cause. She finally made that impact she wanted.
yeah, and I was just like, I'm not
That
moved.
it just really capped off why I could not stand that character in her entire arc.
Yeah.
Like, you
This
really having dinner parties to try and, like, talk through difficult political like, please, these manufactured and this is what I mean, she was probably the worst friend out of all of them because then you have this girl come all the way from New York, one of your supposed best friends, and then you're judging the hell out of her for her adding to this conversation with astute
right.
points. Sorry.
And I think it was just because she was judging the fact that, like, she was an influencer or something.
Yeah, it's like, but whatever, this girl is, like, struggling, she's just trying to be, like, a journalist of some type, and you're just, like, judging her so hard, like, "What impact are you making? What impact are you making?"
Yeah.
That like, her every time it was her turn for a chapter, I was just like, "Oh my god, I cannot with this."
Yeah, I felt that about January.
Yeah, see, I feel
I
like
didn't
she
think she
didn't
was a
have that
bad
much
friend,
like, words devoted to her, so it was just
but I
like
thought it was annoying how, like, she was so emotional and intense about her feelings, but it seemed as if 'cause that's when, Desiree came to visit her when she had that 2nd baby,
right,
right?
yeah,
And I was like, "Ugh, I would have loved to just see more of what Desiree was thinking," but Desiree's just being a good fucking friend, and
yeah.
January's like, "My life is so fucked up," and it's like, "What are you talking about? Why are
Well,
you talking about that?" And Desiree's not asking any questions because she's probably like, "This girl's off," but, like, and I don't know, cause like, when she had her kid, the 1st kid, um, and she wanted to leave whatever his name is,
I forgot
I
his name, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of it
yeah.
now. I think
I
it's
think
like
it begins with the
Marcus.
letter M.
Yeah, that's what I was like, is it Marcus? Michael?
I wanna
Something like that.
say yeah, it's
That'd
something.
be like Marcus or Michael. I don't know. Watch that be just so wrong.
Now I wanna know. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, you're probably
Morris.
better off Googling it because, again, she has like 3 chapters in total in here.
Morris, but, like
Morris. Yes,
mhm,
that's right. Um,
and I
I
think
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
no, yeah, sorry. So I think I understood why she was kind of, like, angst the first time she broke up with Morris because I get it, she met him when he was really young when they were both really young. That was her first and only boyfriend, and she kinda wanted to just, like, not fall into this, like, codependency.
Right.
I get that, but then it seemed like Morris was just like, "I want to be around." But I don't know, their relationship seemed odd because he kinda just, like, expected her to come back, which I found odd. So I feel like there's a level of, like,
Well, that's
control
why I said I
there.
think we didn't get enough context for their relationship dynamic because when they were younger, it did seem like he was really into her and maybe she just was starting to feel like she outgrew him or something. But then when she decided to have the baby, I was surprised that she went back to him and then had a subsequent child because the way she made it seem, it was like you don't feel that he would be a good partner for you. I don't know.
I think she also wanted to, like, start a career because it didn't seem like she worked
Right,
towards
it
the
it
end.
felt like she was saying, like, "I don't feel like I can be who I'm supposed to be with you," which that's fine, but then you accepted to be with him, and I guess it felt
Now
like
she
she just
complains.
lost control of her agency or life, but I think when Desiree went to visit her, I think what the author was trying to do is illustrate her postpartum struggles, which
Mm.
I get that if the emotions and all. I think the baby's not latching. I think it was more of a postpartum nod to what she's struggling with. She probably needed intense therapy. And, postpartum depression, I didn't mean it flippantly, but I think that's what that was illustrating. I mean, her freaking cervix or whatever, uterus was cut.
Yes.
So I think she
Oh,
was struggling with a lot of real physical things that she just wasn't taking care of. But then her solution was, I'm going to leave you. I don't know. It, I mean, I think that I wish I feel like I can't really make a judgment because I just didn't have enough information on how Morris
yeah.
was whether with her or in this marriage because it wasn't abundantly clear that he was some sort of deadbeat. It seemed like she just
It
never
was
spoke up and said,
yeah.
"This is what I want, and what about here my dreams?" She never really had that discussion with him, so I
Yeah, I agree with that, but I found her s very annoying, but I agree with that assessment because she just didn't speak up, and I
Yeah. But
and
I
it
faulted the author more than the character in that instance, just because I
mm,
felt like I don't think should be this annoying, and I don't know, I can't really be annoyed by some woman that probably struggling from postpartum depression twice.
but I was irritated with how she was handling things the first time too, because when she was pregnant and whatever, she could it's her body, her choice, she doesn't have to have the baby or she can have the baby, and I think Desiree even said, like,
Yeah, she
if
said, "You don't
you
have to do this."
yeah,
And
and
then
it
she didn't wanna talk to her after that.
and that's the thing, it's like, you're pretending that you don't have options, and you're saying this thing means the world to you to, like, have this, like, personhood and agency of yourself, and
Yeah.
you know that this is not a good time, and you're not far along enough where
Yeah.
you like, a whole ass fetus. So, it was just kind of irritating that it's like, well, you had the option that was clear as day, you chose Morris because you knew that he wanted the child. Like, I feel like she kept the child for him because she didn't even seem like she wanted it, and that, like, kinda
Yeah.
bothered me
I
'cause
also felt like she kept it because of her upbringing, because I feel like she was one of those people who was similar to what's that girl that's the chef's name? I can't remember her name.
Nakia.
Nakia, yeah. They both kind of were similar where you grew up in a traditional, like, I kind of felt like she had pressures from that's just kind of who she was and grew up as a I can't get rid of the, that's not an option for me to get an abortion, right? Like some
Yeah.
women who are raised in whether it's religious households, I think it's different. It's one thing to say it should be an option, but then another thing to be like, I'm going to go through with that option. So I wonder if that also played a part. I remember them touching on her upbringing a bit, and it seemed like that was how she was living her life was this is what I'm expected to do. And it was only in the end when she divorces, it's like, I'm gonna live for me, which could have probably done that a long time ago, but I guess it was sort of this liberation for her. So it's like I
Mhm.
got it. I don't know that I cared for the execution, but I got it.
Yeah, this book feels like it was the best of a, like, writer's course exercise. Like, there was, like, a class
Oh.
of, like, let's
I
do
don't
an
know that I
exercise
would
of
agree with
character
that.
development and because I didn't feel like this was a book. Like, I just felt like, connecting the dots was, like, not it didn't feel intuitive to me. It didn't feel like it flowed, and I was just like, "This feels like an exercise of character development of, like, all these girls and cool, whatever," but, like
I think she just tried to do too many things. I think it should have been like one person's point of view. I don't think because then it wouldn't have felt so jarring to not get as much information on Monique in January as you did the other 2. I'm getting a whole bunch of chapters on Nakia, but Monique, you barely learn about her. So,
who's
I
Monique
think
again?
she was the influencer girl. She was like the
Ah, yeah, yeah,
librarian,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I felt like the author just didn't think about how that would read, but I don't think I mean, I actually found it to be a well-written book in terms of, like, prose and descriptors. I think
Yeah,
that the author is talented. I think it's a little too much. You gotta focus on especially when you have one person, Desiree, if you're gonna have one character who's so much more complex than the other 3, it just should have probably been told from her point of view.
yeah,
Because no one else and that was my other issue with the book, none of these other characters had any of that depth. Like Nakia was manufactured to me. Like, okay, whatever, you're
yeah,
a navel gazer, you're really a privileged girl, but you're trying to figure out how you can make an impact. Like, whatever. It's not the same as you've gone through the traumas that Desiree has, and now how are you developing as a person? How are you showing up as a friend? How are you dealing with your estranged family member. It was just so much more layered than
yeah.
anything else anyone had going on.
Also, all of the friends are connected through Desiree.
And that's why when I read the first part, I thought, "Okay, it'll be told from her point of view." And then I'm
How
like and then
how
I
does she
didn't
know
like the
Monique?
time jumps either.
Who?
I didn't like the time jumps, like,
Me
I
I was
didn't
literally
like
that's what I was
because
looking
that
at. I
really
was
was
like, I didn't
hard
like
for
how
me. It took me, like, a couple pages each time to kinda figure out, okay, like
we're in the past.
well, not really that we're in the past because it had the year on there, but it
Yeah,
just I had to remember what I already knew, right? We're starting here, then we're going forward. Now I had to keep track of, like, what would have been known each time to the
to
like,
the
it was a
characters,
lot, and
yeah.
so if you're doing that for each character, it's like, we when January, when we meet her, she's dealing with, I read it as, "Am I gonna keep this baby?"
Right.
And we don't get back to that for at least 50 something pages. And then when we do, we're not getting any information on it's not picking up where we left off. So I'm like, okay, so you had the babe, like what? Now you're married? I didn't that's why I'm like the execution from me just did not land because it was a hard book. You gotta really concentrate in that way. And I also think had I not read it in pretty much one sitting, because I read this on my flights,
Yeah.
it would have been really hard to jump back in. Like, it was
And
kind of easy to read as one shot deal, but
yeah.
it was not. I'm thinking I really remember thinking if I had to put this down and pick it back up, I'd be like, "Wait, what did I
It
what
was
happened?"
it was a struggle, and there
Yeah,
were times, like, where I did not, because like, normally my reading routine is that I read a book in the
yeah,
morning and I read, like, the
yeah.
news in the evening, and I'm like, "I have to get through this book," but sometimes it felt good to just skip the book, like, I'm like, "I'd literally rather stare at the fucking wall." Like, I don't wanna
It
read
was
this book.
I
Oh,
felt that because reading it at one time, I'm like, "Alright." I was like, "I gotta
you can
finish
push
this
through.
in this 4 hours," because I don't know that I would wanna come back to it because it took me several weeks. I read the first part, and then I think I read the first 50 something pages, and then it was a long while before I went back, and I was like,
Yeah, I
"Do
will
I
say,
really wanna go back?"
because of how, like, to your point from earlier, like, the prose and how it's written as well, sitting down and going through it, it doesn't feel as bad because you're, like, in the mix.
Yes.
'Cause I felt that too when I, like, sat somewhere and, like, read the book for, like, an hour or 2, I was, like,
You can
speeding
whip
through
through
it.
it.
Yeah, but it's
I'll
when I
give
feel
her that,
like
like, she's a talented writer. I'm not gonna
yeah.
say the
No,
book
the
was
I
just
wasn't saying that she was a bad
horrible.
writer, I was saying, like, the this
Oh, like,
piece,
she just yeah, I
it
see
wasn't
that.
yeah, so, like, I'm not she's a great writer, and I'm skeptical to pick up another book unless it's, like, a actual, like, this is a novel of one person's perspective.
I would not read
Sure.
another multi-perspective novel from her. No.
Correct. But this feels to me like an exercise of, like, fleshing out characters because I do have a favorite, to your point, favorite character, it's Desiree. I liked her story. I thought it was the most
She's the
interesting,
only
her
one with
dynamic.
one.
Oh, and also, as you know, I have, like, a tumultuous sibling relationship situation going on. So I felt like like, the way she wrote Desiree, I felt that this was a relatable piece.
Yeah. No, I
But
felt she was super relatable in the way she handled, like, I could understand. I haven't lost a bunch of people, but I could understand how she was the friend she was based on the things that she had gone through. Like, just,
right.
I'm your steady friend, and I was, like, getting kinda annoyed for her when people are like, "You know," it's like she's the only person in this group that's actually there for you guys, and you're, like, always coming
Critiquing
down
her.
hard on her.
Right. And also, no one said anything about where she went missing because when Danielle called her, they were
No.
like, "She's
Well, they
missing,"
said they
and
couldn't get in touch with her.
yeah,
So
but
they
I wish they
also
closed the loop on that
yeah.
because
I think they closed the loop on it. Shoot, shoot, shoot. She did because she ended up meeting with her and met her nieces, but I forget who was the person who told her that her sister was trying to get in touch with her. It was either see, the end of the book, this is my other issue with the execution. After Nakia died, it sort of went into like stream of consciousness for each character, and you had to know who was speaking.
yeah.
So it was obvious like Desiree was like scatterbrained all over the place.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, there was reference to kids. I'm like, okay, that's January. So that part, I didn't love that because it was hard. If you had to piece who's talking. But there was one little chapter where it was like, I wanna say, did Desiree she either came to the realization that, like, I've lost it was like her realization she lost Nakia, that I don't also want to let my relationship with my sister just be whatever. It
I
was
must have missed
something to
that.
that effect. It was very much toward the end, and it was sort of a passing thing, and then it was, like, fast forward to them meeting up. 'Cause both of them were kind of in the space of, "I don't want to lose you," or whatever, and then they were reconnecting, and she got to meet her nieces, and they were, like, 50 at that time. Yeah, because it went yeah, this book ended where these characters were, like, damn near 40s and 50s at that time, because the girls, the
Yeah.
nieces were, like, 12. So, yeah, it was very much a little tiny blip, but that's what happened. You were probably like, "I
Oh,
just
this
gotta
is
get
like
done."
no, true. It's the last
But
page with they're talking about Nakia's garden.
no, it was before they went into how she died. It was before that part.
Yeah, I missed it.
That's why I was like, I think you just missed it because where I kind of got see, I read intently up until it was like, oh, this is the part where they talk about where this girl dies. We can fast forward through this because I don't care. And I already knew in the thing when they led up to it, because there was a chapter sometime before that where it was like, oh, I'm gonna go out and this feels different. I was like, oh, she's gonna die with this homeless thing. She's gonna die on Skid Row somewhere. And
Yeah.
I just really fast forwarded through that end chapter because I was like, I already knew that she was gonna be on some BS and that's how they were gonna kill her off. And I thought it would have been a lot better had they killed her off when they were so when they went to her little chef awards, um, and she was having all those stomach issues, it would have been better had I thought she was gonna get cancer. I thought she was gonna have
Oh my god.
cancer. I thought that's how she was gonna die. And I think that would have been more impactful than some cheesy police brutality nonsense. Skip
Yeah. Yeah, I don't yeah, I mean, it
like, if
was
you're gonna
all
have a character
underwhelming to
die
me.
young, I don't need some weird political, "Oh,
She was
COVID
helping the homeless
protest."
when she was
Stupid.
yeah, and that was just
It would
weird
have
and
been so much
odd.
more true to life if it was like, "Man, our friend got stage 4 stomach cancer. She didn't make it." That would have been way more impactful to me because that does happen in people's everyday lives. I also felt that this book was hard for me because number 1, I don't know, I can't say with certainty as I don't have like a girl group like this. I have many
Yeah,
girlfriends, but it's not like one
a group,
group.
yeah.
And so I found myself truly wondering if this is a fair representation of a friend group because I was like, thank God I've never had this. This felt like 3 awful friends and 1 good one.
Um,
I didn't like that. I was like, you should none of you most of y'all should not be friends with each other.
I think
I didn't think they were good friends.
I think it's not necessarily, um I think when there's a group of friends that have known each other for a certain amount of period, they just get grandfathered in,
Yeah.
and they grandfather each other in to be this, like, toxic group of adults.
But it just felt extra toxic, so I was like, "That is really sad to me." Like, it felt more toxic than it should have been. Like, you had Nakia openly saying, "I didn't like January." Okay. It didn't really feel like you liked her at any point, but I'm glad you can admit that you did not like her for probably the first half of the friendship.
No, yeah,
And I can't
100%.
imagine being in a group where that's the like, I don't like her. Why are you in the group with her? You know what I mean? Like, I get what you mean about there's a longevity piece. You know, you start dealing with people's negative aspects, but it
Yeah.
really felt like Nakia for sure only likes Desiree.
Oh, for sure. I think Nakia kinda just, she just she tolerated the group. Like, I don't
Yes,
think
and
she
I'm
even
like,
considered
girl,
herself a
please be
part of the group.
better.
Yeah, 'cause it was just strange that Nakia was even there because it's like,
Yeah.
I think you're kind of a visitor of the group,
I
and
feel
you're
like the
like
group is these 3 and then you acquaintance because you
yeah.
don't like them. You do not like Monique and you do not like January.
Correct. No,
She
yeah.
hated them. I'm like, "You treat this girl so mean."
Yeah, she did, and
And
I
they
think
were really nice to her despite her being an openly
yeah,
like, she was openly an asshole to them multiple
yeah, and
times,
she would
and I was
invite
like
them. She invited them to things as if they were close
and then
friends, and they were
acted
just
like, "Well, you never come out to LA. You don't like this girl."
yeah, and she made it a thing to tell her partners that her friends don't like to visit her as if she's, like, not the problem in that.
The
She'd
gir
be like, "Oh, do you think they're gonna stay?" She's like, "No, they just can't." Like, you're a
right?
bitch. Like, you're not really someone that seems like
Then
fun to hang around.
then your friend comes all the way cross country and you're mad because she's connecting with your partner. "Oh, you're using my partner." Girl!
Right, at this
I couldn't
networking dinner that
understand
you
that
fucking
situation
curated.
because I'm like, "Y'all are literally, like, been friends for over a decade at this point." Why would I was like, if I had a man, if they could help my friend, why would I be upset about this? Because I don't like that you're an influencer. And at this
Right.
point, you have multiple successful restaurants. So are you jealous? Because that's weird. You're outright successful. You are the richest person in this friend group. And you're mad at this girl trying to come
Yeah,
up off of being a librarian? Like, what do you want from her?
yeah, and she, like,
She
has
better be
generational
broke all
wealth
her life. She's a
too,
New
like,
York City librarian. I hate her so much. Like, what a horrible character.
oh my god, no, she wasn't great. Now
Like,
that you've, like,
pissed me
highlighted it
off
in that
so bad.
way.
I was like, "You don't deserve to have friends, and this is why you're trying so hard to, like, do altruistic things because you know you're a fucking demon."
That's hilarious. I did not read it and have, like, those strong feelings
I think it's
about
because I
her.
read it all at one time. It was like each
Um,
time I was like, "Bro, you are insufferable." First, if you use this little f where was she from? El Salvadorian chick to, like, fill the void.
yeah, that
Then you
was
got mad when she called your ass out.
that's bruh, that was kinda crazy. First of all, you fucking an employee is crazy,
But not
and
only that, then you find out she's, like, an illegal immigrant living in an illegal dwelling.
right.
"It's okay, babe."
And also what's kinda crazy, it's like you still being her boss. Like, I feel like you put yourself in a very precarious situation as an employer, knowing that, 1, you have someone who's, like, off the books. Let's not even get into the fact that,
Right,
like,
it's
she's
one
running
thing to
a
be like,
business.
"I didn't know about it. Don't ask, don't tell."
Right,
Like, Miguel
but
was handling that.
yeah. Right. So then it's just like, now you know that this is how this girl be living, and you're still just whipping her around your car around town,
"I can take
fucking
you
her.
home. You never let me come in." Girl, do you see the neighborhood you're in? You're in a fucking shanty town. Like, then she
Yeah,
goes in and the whole, like, in my narrative is like, "I don't wanna touch nothing. I'm uncomfortable."
yeah, yeah, and when Miguel came
Then
back.
Miguel comes, then you let this girl, you let her take on more responsibilities, all this. Then Miguel comes back, you like, "Oh, yeah, sorry. I can't pay you anymore. Can't increase your salary." And then you're
Yeah,
mad because she was like,
and she's like, "You have to pay me," and also, it's like you put yourself in a situation where you were she was like, "Of course I'm gonna pay you." Sh Let's be fucking for real, I think you were thinking about not paying me.
I think you were. I think you were definitely thinking about not paying me.
That's
And
why
she's
she
like,
brought
"Wait,
it.
baby, we can talk about this."
"Love me my money, because you 'cause you're doing the most." That's
She
crazy.
was like, "Yo, run it, cause I'm out." And then she's like, "I never saw her again." Good.
Yeah, you had no real right to, that's crazy.
That's
Just,
why
like,
I was
knowing
like,
how.
bro, reading her story, and it just kept, I was like, I just, then boom, next chapter, "I've got a successful restaurant. I got soul cafes," whatever the hell it was called, "in this
Yeah,
location, this location. Now I got this fancy thing, and my partner's big in the blah 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 world." Like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
girl, you
and
just
she
stepped
acted
on
like
the
she
back
had
of
some
them
we
immigrants."
yeah, she acts like she has some weird imposter syndrome too.
And that's
Like,
why I
she
was like, this whole charity notion is like blowing my mind. And she's trying to compensate because your parents bought you all this stuff, like, they got you started.
yeah.
Even
Nah,
her whole
yeah, her whole
time in New
thing.
York, she's just, like, cosplaying around, and then, like, they're
She
like,
calls
"Girl,"
her parents
her
crying, saying
parents are
how
like,
hard it
"Please
is.
come
Come
home."
home.
Like, you called your mom off a coke binge, like, "I don't know what to do." She's like, "Girl."
Oh my god, Nakia is wild. That's so
So
funny.
it's like, bro, she's my least favorite character. She had no real growth. Everybody did everything for her.
Yeah, no, she really had no adversity. Like, now that we're talking about it, it's really crazy how she made it seem like everything was, like, different for her, and it was really just because she was gay.
Right? I was like, "Girl, you had that why you gay, please."
And she was, like, the most privileged out of everyone. She's, like, the most modern lesbian that there could possibly
Literally,
be.
literally gave a full storyline to her ancestors from Maryland, and they're like fucking they're the first free this, that, and the third.
Yeah,
Girl,
the actual generational wealth that she comes from, and, like, literally her
why are you
parents being
struggling?
so rude about Desiree and her not saying anything is, like, kinda crazy. It's like, her grandpa died. And then also she kept referencing Nolan, the grandpa, as if it was, like, almost, like, familial, and then to, like, put things on the menu from Nolan and acting like, "Desiree finally let me have the recipe."
So it
Relax.
was like, "Girl."
Like, those were not for you.
Like you were the worst person. I hated her so much. I was like, this has got to be like it's almost satirical how horrible this person is in character. Like, there's no self-awareness.
No, yeah, she was kind of unbearable now that I think about it. I didn't pick that up as I was reading it, but talking this through, like, I really see that she's probably the
I
worst
just was
character
like,
on
"Ah,
there.
here we go." And it was like we didn't even we got I feel like we got more time on Nakia than we did on Desiree. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Bro, this
And
is
also,
cut
you
that out."
remember when, Desiree goes visits January, and
Yeah.
then they, like, get in the car and they start driving, and they just, like, were on their way to just pull up on Nakia, but the
Right,
way
not the
that
hospital, Nakia.
yeah, and I was like, the way that they made it seem was kinda like, "We gotta do this because, it's
Right.
Nakia." Like, it made it seem like they wanted to go for
No,
real.
she's the mob boss of this friend group.
Yeah.
Because she's, like, dictating how everyone else should be, and I'm like, "If you want Monique to be an influencer so bad, why don't you run her a check and start herself a bookstore or something?" Like, if you're that pressed I've never seen someone that pressed about their friend's career path, like,
Yeah,
side-eye it from afar.
that is
Like,
hilarious.
if you really think that's such a stupid career, like, I don't see you backing her on anything. I don't see you, writing any checks for her to
Yeah,
start a
no,
business.
she was weird.
She ain't even
I
finished
kinda
college, that's why I'm like, "Yo, you're the most privileged person."
yeah. Was she light skinned?
I think
Did
so.
they
It was
mention
like they made it sound because at first I thought she was Hispanic, so I was a little surprised
yeah, she sounded
when they had the
there
whole
was
thing about the history. Because I think
mhm.
she was, like, light skinned, they made it seem like she had good hair in a way, and I
Yes.
was like, "She Latino?" And then, you're from LA, I was like, "Maybe she, like, Latino or something." No,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I thought she was, like, kinda mixed, but
no.
it's giving, boys what's it called? The Boys and Girls Club?
Oh, yeah, she's definitely in Jack and Jill. I'm pretty sure they
Jack
said
and
that.
Jill, yeah,
Pretty sure
for
that was
sure.
said that they were like a Jack and Jill family. And I was like,
100%.
"This tracks," but okay, they
Mhm.
died. And I forget who died, her brother or something? She had a loss. Was it her dad? No. Somebody died, I don't know.
Yeah. I wasn't reading that closely to everyone, but also I read it I had to pick it up a few
I
times.
think I just don't remember because sometimes stuff runs together. Because it was like Monique's dad died,
Yes.
but something happened because Nakia was saying how her parents were moving back to Maryland. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think what happened with Nakia, she didn't experience a loss, but Miguel's brother died, and that, like, somehow impacted her.
No, he didn't die.
or like he was going through
But
that
he
family
did,
trauma.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you
he
mean.
thought he was gonna die and all that stuff, and then that, like, impacted how
Yeah.
Nakia was moving for a
And the
while, so
crazy part about it all was, like, this lady that was feeding the homeless that she would make help package the meals for,
yeah,
I'm like, "You had about 25 years to go down there with her, and you didn't.
yeah.
I don't go, I just help with the meals." Now, "Oh, you know what? I gotta go because it's COVID?" What?
Yeah.
And,
Nakia is really
that's how I knew she was gonna die too, because they were like, "Yeah, there was warnings talking about stay at home, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "So now, after not participating in this in a real way for the last 2 decades, you're going to go when they deliberately said, 'Don't go.'"
don't right.
Knowing
And
that
she
they
just make
recognize
out
your old girl, but she's down there all the time, and they probably not gonna bother her, but you're just tagging along
yeah,
because you feel like you're an imposter, because you probably are. So that's why I'm like, January didn't have enough pages for me to hate her, but Nakia
yeah,
did.
that's fair. That's
And I
fair. So
think
what do you
January it really could have been. I felt like I was making assumptions rather than knowing why she did the thing she did. And I didn't like that. And I feel like that's the author fault.
that's fair. I just made those assumptions to decide I didn't like her.
I don't think those were bad assumptions necessarily, but I'm just saying I felt like I couldn't even really have a judgment because I don't know anything about this character other than she had a baby when she didn't want to, and then she had another baby, and now she's unhappy in her marriage. Like, it just really felt like bing, bang, boom.
Oh my god. If I was, like, skilled enough, I'd put that Kendrick Lamar sound bite in there. But
Right, right. Well,
that is beyond my
that is
skill.
literally, though, how I felt. I was like, "Well, January, I'm glad you found your voice, and hopefully you get enough child support. It's good for you."
Right.
I kept
So
forgetting what she even did that was her career that she wanted so
she was a
desperately.
graphic designer.
Yeah. I th it was some kind of see, I was gonna say interior design, but
No,
either
yeah,
way,
it was graphic design. She wouldn't have made money off of that anyway. So
no.
I was just like, "Girl,
That's
you
why I was
need
like,
this
"I'm
man in your life."
confused. I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
I
he's
don't
cool with
know."
you doing your little thing, and you could still do it. Honestly, she didn't wanna go into an
He
office.
could've got a
She could work from
nanny,
home.
like, I'm sure Morris would've been like, "Alright."
I don't think he cared.
I don't
And
think
then the
he
way she made I
I
was
don't think
really
but I
irritated.
don't think I think he loved her, though, that's what I'm confused about.
No, I do
I
too,
truly
but,
don't
like,
think
I
it was
think
like, "This man is a deadbeat." I think he would've got help if she asked.
I agree. And I was really irritated with her complaint. Not that it like, her feelings are not necessarily valid, and I'm sure part of it is postpartum, but her talking about, like, when the babies were born, she felt like Morris, like, kinda, like, didn't give her the attention she wanted, and I'm like, "Well, there's a new human on Earth that he
And
needs to tend
I thought that
to."
was odd as well because it was like it was weird because it almost felt like she was painting it as, "He just wanted me for the sons." And
Correct.
I felt
I
like
was just
there's
like,
nothing in
"No."
this book that would indicate that that's true, and I was like,
And
I
the vibe I was getting is that Desiree felt that too. That's the thing. I felt like Desiree was kinda like, Imma hold you down. I
Right.
don't understand what you're saying
Right,
because
yeah,
it
I
sounds
think Desiree was
foolish."
kinda like, "You have a great life, just talk to him."
Right, and
But
her saying like,
yeah.
I'm not myself." It's
And
like
that's
she was like
basically what she said to her the first time when she was like, "I'm just gonna have this baby, I don't want him involved," and Desiree was like, "What?" Like,
right. And even Desiree asked her, she was like, "What are you doing that's so different now? Because 'Cause we're not doing shit that you're
right,
not doing with Morris." Like, I don't understand.
and then
Like,
they're
what
like,
is
"So you
so
wanna be a
hard?
single mom of 2?" Like,
And I think I don't know, the only thing that I could suspect between her and Morris is that maybe he's controlling, but not in, like, an abusive way, in, like, an annoying way. Like, he just, like,
yeah,
assumes, like, his way is right all the time because, like, it
yeah,
just seemed like when she came back, like, he kinda knew that 'cause, like, she said he was surprised when she was like, "Okay, we're moving out, we're not renewing the lease,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, you're for real? Okay, well, I'll
But I
catch
also
you
think
another
that's because
time."
she never advocated for herself. She was such a passive
Yeah,
character in her own life that I think, yeah, you attracted a man who's like, "We'll just do it my way." It's this, and then it's like all of a sudden you're finding this voice, but it's such a misguided venture because there was I just don't feel the marriage had to dissolve because of this, right?
yeah,
Like you he just didn't seem like he was that bad of a guy that you couldn't have said, "Hey, I need to do something for me," or "I'd like to have my career, let's figure out how to work on that." I
yeah.
I just
And one
I'm not
thing
getting the
that
vibe that it would have been a no.
correct, and I think the things that, like, she surmised from, like, what she thought Morris thought of her is, like, I remember one time in the beginning, Morris came home early from work for whatever reason, and she didn't get out of bed, and she expected him to be upset with her because she didn't get out of bed, but he just, like,
Right.
smashed and went back to work, and she was like, "I can't believe that," and it's like, that your man wants to, like, take you down, like, I don't understand what's the problem.
That's
It
why
was
I
just
was
like
like, "Girl," it felt to me like, and that's why I said I feel like I remember a chapter where they kinda indicated she was one of those people who they go to school like they're supposed to, and they get married because they're supposed to, but it's like, "Girl, you can either be a passenger in your life or you can say something." This is so odd to me that you're even with this man at all. Like, why didn't you just break up with him before having a baby with him?
yeah, also, why aren't
That
you on
was the
birth control if you
strangest
don't
thing.
want
I'm like,
kids?
for all this time, you've just been, like, having sex with this man, you don't want to be with him? Like, I'm confused. And then not even preventing a pregnancy. I just thought that was the strangest, like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
that's why I was like, maybe, and I think because by the time I got to the end, I'm thinking, I just don't feel like we got anything to tell us. I I'm like, "I guess January, go off." I don't know. Like, you do you. I didn't get it because 'cause I'm thinking there's no way I would be a single mom of 2 in LA and I ain't even got a job.
In this
Come
economy.
on, man.
Oh
Uh,
my god. So what'd you rate this book?
like a 2.5. And it's only because I found that I think the prose was nice. I think the author's a good writer, and I do believe there are people who would enjoy this book who sadly have probably some very toxic friendships. They can relate more to it than I did. But I can see, like, I can envision who would enjoy this book, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I rated it a 2 as well.
'Cause
Um,
I just, yeah. The
it
point 5
wasn't
is because I like Desiree.
yeah, I'm
And
good
I
at
thought
keeping it
that was, like, the
mm,
best part of the story was, like, I thought that I
her.
do feel like there was something to say there, and it was articulated well.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But, yeah, we couldn't
I
go to
just felt
3. Couldn't get to 3 stars, though.
yeah, it was so
It was
ugh,
really a tedious book to read. It was kind of like, if you don't connect with the characters, then it's not a fun one to read.
and what's
It's
so
just not a fun,
interesting
it's not a hate read either. So it's like,
yeah, that's what I was about to say, it's like, this is the first time I gave it 2, not and it's not like it's not a poorly written book, which I generally give books that are poorly
right.
written a 2. It's a fine book, I just did not enjoy
It
it, like,
was not
so
my
much.
cup of tea. That's why I was like, I'll give it a 2.5. I feel 2 might be a little low, but 3 is definitely not happening. Like, I
Yeah, it's
can't,
definitely
there's
below
so few people
average.
I would recommend it to. Like, I couldn't, I'd be like, this is
It
kind of tough to get through.
yeah, it's not entertaining, but you're not like, "Oh, I hate everybody," or, "This book is so,
Yeah,
like,
it's
shitty," or
it's not a
whatever.
fun hate read like Culpability was. Like, it's not like
Yeah,
a, "Woo, let's just get into it." This book
right,
sucked.
and that's what yeah, there's not, like, a lot like, even though we did speak about stuff, but, like, it just was a story I feel like I do think this might be a good concept for a
Yeah.
TV show.
I would work better as a TV show because 'cause you'd have more time to flesh everyone out.
Right. And this is just like a concept, I feel like. The book is really
Yeah,
just like conceptually a group of
right.
friends. So you have the characters and like their personality and their like
Yeah.
what
I
traumas
mean,
they had to like have these
it's like
characters
Sex
and
and the
then kind of
City,
just yeah, literally.
but with a
So
different backdrop. I think, it's like, it would work better as a TV show or even a movie in some way because you just have more time to get to know these people and, like,
yeah.
really understand their motivations. And then, see, I felt bad hating on it, so I was like, "Ah, I don't wanna be, like, too judgy."
Yeah. But I will say I am pleasantly surprised. Like I thought it'd be a little bit I don't know, I thought maybe it'd be a bad book and it wasn't, you know?
No, I didn't have any expectation. I think I just expected more. I was just glad it wasn't extremely heavy-handed with, like, the political stuff.
Yeah. I
And it
do
was
think she's
my
a
fear,
talented writer. I wonder if what was her first
because
book?
that was why I didn't ultimately put it on the list for myself was because I was like, I don't know if I wanna be, like, really in the thick of whatever political opinions this person has." So I was pleasantly surprised that it was not, like, a main thing.
Oh. This isn't even her debut, so this is concerning for me.
Well, maybe her debut was not, like, a point of view novel.
It's a critically acclaimed debut novel about a large black family in Detroit, focusing on the 13 children of Francis and Viola
Nope,
Turner.
nope, will not even 13 people is way too many. You said 13. Oh, hell no. I don't that book probably just 13 chapters. Stop. Nope.
Yeah, stop.
Like you don't even read the rest of the synopsis. As soon as you said a family and there was 13 people, I was out.
It's 13 children, so that means there's 15 people. That's crazy.
Yeah, 15 people to hate.
Oh my god, and then there's um I don't know if she redid it, but she republished this book in 2026. Huh. But yeah, this is her 2nd book, and,
Yeah.
yeah, I think she's
I
talented.
need
I
her to
will
stop. I need her to write a novel from
yeah.
one one person. Focus
I
on
think
one
if she just
character. You can give thoughts
takes
on other characters from that character's point of view. I don't want any more no more multi views. And let's write it chronologically.
I agree. Um, okay, do you have any more takes?
Generally or on this book.
Generally. This is the more
Generally,
take
I want to
thing.
discuss that there are publishers out there that are editing books of the past to engage readers of the now. And if I read a Judy Blume book today, I don't think TikTok should be in there.
Yeah, I agree with that
That don't
sentiment.
make
That
sense to me.
what books have they been doing that
They
for?
did that to
And
like Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
mm,
And they had her permission, but I'm like, this book was written in like the 70s. You can't just insert modern references.
so they're literally rewriting the book. Can you buy the original still?
I don't know. I think that's why a lot of people have been adamant about like keeping like hard copies and stuff like that because in this age of digital
No,
erasure.
yeah. That's why
Um,
I
it's
told you about the
the same with
resale
music.
value. Yeah.
It's like I think that's why people are so adamant about keeping movies, anything that had whatever physical copy. But it was a whole article I read. I just happened to be reading it because I was like, hmm. And it was interesting because the commenters were split because a lot of people were how I felt is sometimes books are a product of their time. In high school, I'm reading The Grapes of Wrath. Do you need to update? a reference
Right.
to something that doesn't exist. Like, what's the purpose of that? Look it
Because
up.
you know what? People lack imagination now because it's like technology and stuff
Yeah.
that they can't just like write stories of our time that could be like
It's so bizarre
applicable
though.
of
Why do you need to
like
edit the book? Because, like, for example, okay, this is small potatoes, but in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, it's like the girl gets her period for the first time. She talks about wearing like a menstrual belt. No one's worn a menstrual belt since forever. But still, just look it up.
right.
Because then
So
it's
what
an
they
opportunity to say, oh my gosh, wow, like maybe you learn about how things have come a long way since then.
right.
Why would you update that to a tampon or something where it's like, it just doesn't, it just seems like it's why? Is
Yeah.
are the people who are reading today, are the children so lost that they can't, they're just like, I don't know what that is. Oh my God, I gotta stop reading the book. Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's true.
I'm sure
Because
Great
back when
Gatsby
we're in high
makes several
school
references to things that I'm like, I don't know what that is. Look it up.
yeah, when we were in high school, like, that's what we would do, so it's, like, weird that they're not doing it, and they're like,
Right.
"You need to make this in a way so that I could understand the past," and then it's just like so then there's this erasure of the past
Yeah, and
that
that's why I'm like, it
doesn't
seems
exist.
odd to me to insert some modern reference that would not have even been close to existing just for the sake of some dumbass 14-year-old.
That's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah,
But
no,
apparently
I
it's
don't
a
like
thing
that.
now for books to be having little, like, they're not necessarily rewriting the book, they're just some like, "Oh, I was listening to my vinyls. I was listening to Spotify," and it's like,
Which publishing houses are doing this?
I don't know, I was to look it up because 'cause I'm gonna find the article for you because I was like, "This is bizarre."
Yeah, no, I would be curious because like, there is a publishing house, let me tell you who's this publisher? So, the Mandolin Press, they publish old books in a way not to make them more current, but, like, they're just, like, old stories that weren't published, but they were, like, indie and popular at the time for, like, a subculture, but it's still in pretty
Yeah.
old English and stuff like that. But things like that I'm cool with, but this is only, like, one publisher, and they go through this whole process of, like, finding books, selecting books, and, like, cleaning it up so it reads as closely to the original text as possible.
No, that's
That
different.
I'm
That's
yeah,
fine.
but I would assume and hope that only, like, some indie stupid publishers doing this that so that, like, all the stupid kids could just, like, stay together. Like, I don't want, like, Penguin Publishing House fucking meddling with the Odyssey. Like, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah. It was like, it was just such a bizarre, I'm gonna find that article because I read it and it was, people were really split.
I don't know, that's crazy. That's like people who essentially are like and I'm not trying to be overly controversial, but people who are like listening to audiobook is the same exact thing as reading a physical book.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, sure, maybe you consumed the content and you got, like, the major sweeping
Yeah.
concepts,
Right.
but you did not read that book, and you did not read the original book. Like, you're not gonna tell
Mhm.
me that you read this book in its original state when that is not how it was written.
Yeah. Well, and then because I know there's a thing where they were doing that, they were, like, taking out what they felt were offensive language and some, like, Roald Dahl books and, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it's like, "Why?"
First of all, if they need to start with anybody to do that with, it should be Stephen King.
Yes, I found it, and it was like the headline was, "Why is TikTok in this book from 2006?" And so they're saying, like, yeah, this is so when publishers swap out cultural references to appeal to younger readers, which is like,
First of all, younger people are not reading anyway.
right.
So why are we doing this? Why are we wasting resources on this with
It's
their
and they're
fucking
like people are like,
10
"Oh, it's
hours of
giving
screen
new
time?
life to the book." It's write a new book.
Yeah,
Write a new book. Like, what?
literally.
And they're like, "Oh, well, we're doing this because what was very popular among teens in the early" this was a particularly book from the early 2000s. They're like, "What was popular among teens in the early 2000s is no longer on their radar decades later." Well, no shit. Like, what?
Right.
Like, do you think Catcher in the Rye was appealing to me as a high school? What? What?
Right.
Like, read
Oh
the
my
book for what
god.
it is. Are we gonna change Huck Finn? Like, this is
Right.
stupid.
And, oh, I don't even wanna get into that. I just
A
that's
dated
stupid.
reference can break the spell of book cast on readers. Like, these people are not they don't like reading if they need
They
it to
don't.
be. You don't enjoy reading if you need your stuff the kids don't want to feel the adult behind the book. What?
Well, adults write books. So,
Like, what?
if these kids don't like, that adults write books, then maybe they should be smart enough to write their own fucking books. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
They're defending it. They're
Ugh.
like, "If we want readers to fall in love with the same story we fell in love with
We
as
don't
teenagers,
care.
we don't care. The best way to do that is to reach them where they are. How about write a new book for them, if that's what you're so concerned about?"
Why would we lower our standards as a society to do some bullshit like that?
They're literally like, "The main concern is comprehension."
Yeah, because they're not teaching kids thing.
This
What's that thing
article
called?
made me so mad to read. I was so upset.
Yeah, these kids are not hooked on phonics, and that's why they cannot read. It has
Yeah. No, they
nothing,
acknowledge that. They're literally like, if a 4th grader comes across a phrase they don't understand, it can stop them in their tracks.
and that kid is not gonna survive
You know what
life,
I
and
did
that's
when I didn't
important.
know? I asked my mom what it meant,
The kid's like, "My day is over now. I
and
have
that
no
was
idea what that says."
pre-Google. You could just Google it.
Googling is literally
Literally.
something that I think, like, destabilizes children. They have so much access to information, and they ask so many dumb questions, and it's like, "Why didn't you ask Google first?"
You literally have the world in your hands. That's why I'm like, what do you mean it stops them in their tracks? We didn't have Google when we were in 4th grade.
Yeah. You have to
Like, it
ask the
did not
person or go to an
exist. I
encyclopedia
had
or
to
some
ask
shit.
an adult, "What does this word mean?" or get a dictionary out. So, you mean to tell me these kids can't simply Google, "What is a blah, blah, blah?"
No.
But, yeah, so this publisher's like, "Yeah, no, we have to meet them where they are." Like,
What publisher is this?
"Well, let me tell you so you can avoid them."
Yeah.
Let's see, this guy's an agent at KT Literary Agency. And he's a former Harper's Collins editor. But these people are nuts. Like, I just I just don't understand. Like, things are a product of their things are always a product of their time. That's like the inherent nature of creation.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well,
So,
KT Literary is a boutique literary agency based in Colorado with apparently a strong reputation in the New York publishing industry, which,
yeah.
I've never heard of them, but
So apparently a lot of people are noticing because they say the publishers don't advertise the changes and readers have had to been they've like documented them online.
so they're not even telling people that they're making these changes?
No. It looks like I guess it looks like some of these publishers of the original books are just allowing it and they're like, "Oh, it's a new edition." And I don't know where you'd find the old one, but yeah, they're letting it says
Well,
interior
you
edits
could
sometimes follow if publishers believe changes to cultural references may help a book reach new audiences.
You could, look up different editions of books and request them.
Yeah. So I guess you'd have to know to do that, but it's like, that's a shame that you're not even, like, telling people that you're doing this.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think now I'd probably be a little bit more vigilant with publishing dates. Like, if I know that I'm supposed to be picking up a book
I would
that
definitely
is before
check.
my time, like, I'm gonna start checking, like, the publishing date
Mhm.
because the publishing date is for that edition.
Yeah.
So if it says it was published in, like, 2026 when it
I'd be
should
like,
have
"I
been
want
published,
it."
yeah, in 1989, I'm gonna have to pass.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
they were saying, like, when they reissued The Princess Diaries, so I guess HarperCollins is, like, okay with this. They were looking for cultural references, and they said where a reference felt particularly dated, they ran suggested substitutions by the authors.
Yeah.
"Hey, so no one knows who the celebrity is anymore, let's replace it," like,
Honestly, I think maybe that book just didn't do as well as she wanted it to originally, and she's,
yeah,
like, strapped for cash, and that's why her and her estate
yeah.
probably was like, "Yeah, like, let's do this." I can't imagine someone like Stephen King saying okay to that.
I can't imagine that either. I would hope
'Cause I'm
not.
sure Stephen King I see people on the subway reading Stephen King books all the time out in the open. I think he continues to get sales. No one is, like, questioning
Yeah.
the reference points. It's, like, books that were not that I guess maybe you read in school or whatever, but they just weren't doing they didn't do as well as the author
Well, half
anticipated.
those authors are dead, the ones we read in school, but I think it's
Right.
happening a lot with, like, young adult novels or, like, books that I guess this demographic they're trying to reach reads. So I
Like, I
guess
could
it's
see
happening a lot with, like how I read The Babysitter's Club. If they were to, I guess, reprint that now, they'd just change the whole thing.
yeah, and I feel like maybe the Twilight series was something that would fall into that
But it's just so
category.
strange because I feel like if you're gonna read I know JK Rowling would not allow that. She'll be like, "No, my
Yeah.
references are my references."
Well, that's the thing too, because Harry Potter is like, again, a timeless
It
piece
should be,
of
in my
literature
mind.
and art and everything. Like there's a Broadway play right now that's like an adaptation of like Harry Potter and Draco having sons or whatever. So I feel like the reason why I think Twilight would probably fall into that category is because it had like this burst of
Yeah,
excitement and then it subsided immediately after the movies.
yeah.
So I think it's like if Stephanie Meyer was like running out of money, she'd be like, "Please update the references." Because I feel
But I
like
guess
this is
they
the type
look through it and then they just ask the author if they're okay with it. So,
well, I think they'd probably ask the author if it's even a viable thing. Because if the author says no, and
yeah,
I guess it also depends on like IP rights too, like who
yeah.
owns what.
But I just thought
Um,
that was such a strange concept because it just feel like these kids can't be that dumb.
they
It
are.
can't be that hard, like, you have Google in your pocket, just look it up.
I think they're that dumb.
It's like the whole book is not about this dated reference, it's literally a passing comment.
I feel like if you don't have the fucking attention span to just like power through something that you like don't understand,
And usually those
I don't
references,
really think you
they're not
even
plot
need.
points, so it's like, you're telling me some innocuous reference is gonna keep you from reading the rest of the book. You were never gonna be a reader. You
Yeah,
just
that's
were
not for you.
never meant to read.
Okay. Well, that concludes this month's episode of Hot Takes Cold Brew. We'd love to hear your takes, whether that be errors or omissions we made, the books we read, or the books you would like us to read. So please share your thoughts in the comments, like, share, or gatekeep. Remember, if we get famous, the money will change us. For those at home who want to follow along, we will be reading Oliver Kittredge by Elizabeth Strout next month, or the next episode. Life be life, and we're busy people. We have day jobs. This is not.
Yeah.
You will get the next release episode when it comes. So, but that's the next book we're gonna read. See you guys next time. Happy reading.
See ya.